Qual level member?
تفضل. ورقة وعدنا يلا هنا ما لا تغلب يحاكم هي بدبوري. Okay. The mimer, the Tafshin Chagav, Basi Legani, the first mimer. The first mimer is really laying the ground on the understanding the big Hiddush in Ois Tez Vav. So if you want to be at the same page as us, just use this. You don't need a commentary because that's what we're doing in the Shir.
Don't need that?
Mimer where the Briskerov said the younger man thinks he's Mashiach.
That's the Basi Legani and Tafshin Yud Aleph.
Oh.
Okay. On page Chof, exactly page Chof, V'yuven in Yemake Farochi. So in the Maiber, he gave a marshal. You see, page Chof.
Yeah. Like,
You don't need the other thing. It's going to distract you.
okay.
V'yuven in Yemake Farochi. He said that there's two things. There could be a student that's waiting 40 years until he stops. This is what the Rebbe meant. And then there is, he'll never understand what his Rebbe meant, but he understands that there's something there. There's an amkis that he doesn't get, but there's something there. And that, he said, is like the difference of makif, makorev and makif harochik. Makif means it surrounds him. He doesn't get it. But eventually he will get it. Makif harochik is something which he's never going to get. He's never going to get it. But at least he knows that this is something. He knows there's something there. He's not going to get it, but there's something there, and he recognizes it's something special, something awesome.
Memphis?
Page Chof. Page Chof. Page Chof. And that's what he said. That's the difference between Makif Harochik and Makif Hakorim. And that's the Friedrich Rebbe said is to understand what's the difference of Eid and Sof, Lamayla Mayla Aden Ketz and Lamata Mata Aden Tachlis. That these are two levels in the height of the Eid and Sof, the Makif Hakorim and the Makif Harochik. ויובל in ימקה ורוחק, או שם יוסי רוחק, כמו כנקרא בשם מקה. הגה מה שכתוב עצמו צדק בספר דרך, המצווה דרך מצווה סחר בביר, כל סין המקה, שגם הוא פועל לפעולוסה, שדום לזה רואים באדם למטה. ומה שכתוב מבשרי איך זה לקה, מכוח הרוצן. הנה יש חייס עבורם שהוא חייס פנים, שבס, לבשת בפולי ולפי עניוני. מכוח יהיה בהם, וכוח הילוך ברגל. והנה די מהחייס ומסלבש, לחייס ומסלבש, believe, beyad, beregel. There is a chayis pnimi. There's an energy. There's what makes the hand, the foot, the liver, the spleen, the eye, the nose, the ear. Amnam yeshna yavin in narotzen kmo yarotzen lahaskel. Harotzen lidet harotzen leilach chav. Sheboli de poel binyan haskala. Reiyo oy halicham mikol mokem means a bleifin shalisiashim bekli. Shozo yitzarech lisin yinei schalkus. Sharot and Lahaskel lo yedoma. Lorot and Lidos Lahalach, Bahare, Muhusarot and Hubishaba, Becholanyon, Shoinyan Etias Hanefesh, Umakoma Compoil Larot and Bechol Evorim, Hainu Shav Shapula Sevorim, Ki Ayede Chayes Hapnimi, Amalabish Beavorim, Boyfin Shalis Yashruz, Hare Hapula Shalkoyach Hapnimi Shal de Paila Haskel, Alach the Lidos. שפועל פולסם אף על פי שאינו בסיישס בכלי. כי אם באופן מעקף. They just say, in in if his heart desires, he'll succeed in his learning. You're not interested?
It doesn't matter what
This guy. Was a pshat. Because when a person has a rotzen to understand, he's gonna get it. He doesn't have a rotzen. So even though the rotzen is a koyach makif, the rotzen in the person, there's not a specific thing. The nose has a place in the body right here, and the eye has a place here, and the ears have a place here, and the mouth has a rotzen is what's rotzen? It's very hard to quantify rotzen. But
more.
rotzen is what a person that's where the nefesh is, where he wants to be. And rotzen affects everything very. If a person wants to see something, wants to hear something, he wants to understand something, it's super interested in understanding, I'll understand. So even though rotzen is a koyach makif, but it has a strong effect on the koyches apnimim. והנה גם בעניין הרצון שהוא בחינס makif יש שני מדרגות. makif הקורף ומקף הרוח, קבינים בזה כמבור בלקוטת התורה על פי משל גשמי יוסר, מהחילוק שבין לבוש ובייס, שאף ששניהם נקראים בשם מקיף, מקום יש חילוק ביניהם של לבוש. ובחינס makif והבייס ובחינס makif דמקיף, כמו שמבאה Admor Maharash Hemshech Maim Rave. Oh, now we got to the Rebbe Marash. We already did the Alter Rebbe, the Rebbe Tzemach Tzedek, and now we got to the Rebbe Marash. So he's saying that the difference of Makev HaKorev and Makev HaRochik, a physical moshel, a very physical moshel to understand the difference of Makev HaKorev and Makev HaRochik is a house and a pair of pants. They're both makif. You don't eat your pants, you wear your pants. But they're both makif. But the clothing is makif hakorev. The house is makif varochik. There's the famous word that the Rebbe loves to bring always in the Tzemach Tzedek, that when a person makes a pair of pants for himself, so he says, "Ooh, it's such beautiful material. Let me add 3 inches." Not only that's not going to help him, that's going to be bad for him. If he has an extra few inches, he's gonna trip over his own pair of pants. So Tzemach Tzedek said, the person has to make a keli and teva in order to be to do business. Sometimes people put an extra, they're clever and they put an extra effort. Not only doesn't help, but he trips over it. It's not negay like a bias. I'm just going into the mush. Bottom line, a sweater is a makiv hakorev. Makiv, you see, it's makiv, but it's korev. It's your measurement. Small, medium, large, extra large, extra large. And then bias, you don't say, oh, he's a big fat guy, or he has to have a bigger bias. As a skinny little guy, don't worry, you could just throw him in a basement somewhere. It doesn't work that way. That's makif haroch. Makif hakorev is your sweater, and makif hakorev is your sweater. Makif haroch is your house.
But he says makif the makif.
Yeah, that's what it means. Makif haroch. Fish mevar the marash. והמשך מהמרם של לבוש הוא כאילו כל העולם מסלם שווי גם הנה מיוחד לפי מידוס הדק מבור במקום אחר שם לבוש איני עושה כפי מנס גופה דמי פורם רלוי זה בלבד שאין מי ותאלס ותיקן על עדרה במקלקו שנקן הבייס ובריחק הרבה ממנו ואין מיוחד לפי מידס הדורבה ועד שאכלי אז בייס אחת שמעקה בשווה לכמה וכמה בני אדם שקלוקים זה מזה מן הקוץ על הקוץ זה ביום גם עניין הרוצן ושמבאר Tzemach Tzedek באגוז בלקוט התורה בעניין נעשה ונשמע שאף שתשנו שניהם הוא לקיים רצנה בוידי נעשה means what Eibishter says נשמע what Eibishter says מכל מקום יש מיילה בבחינס נעשה שבחינס ביטל הרוצן שמבטל דייטה ורצוינה לגמרי. We see that the Eibishter was very proud of the Yidden and because they said nasa before nishma Shema min others a mile nasa over nishma. The Maila Nasa is that he's a bit whatever the Eibishter says. I don't have to understand. Tana Shlib about Shapur Larotzen. Hier Kidavoy, Shunya Nishma, Ali Sedem is a Shunya Bitla Rotzen Lagamri. Kinik Bishim Nasa. Shetzes Lerak in Yanasiya, the Ein Larotzen, Mishaluk Laut, Mahulchum, and Imshakinas. Arrive the Koraim, Rotzen Larotzen. Kinyon Bavad Sodom Kima Mitzvahs. Mavu, the Kotateri, Shea, Shnei Mine Mitzvahs. How the Stam Kola Mitzvahs, Shember Tzana Shalagama, Soisum Shashashak, Kanis Rotzen Elgim, the King. גם למטה תלויים הם ברצון האדם בעשויסם, מה המשך מבחינת רצון האדם, וזה כשאנו במצווה ישראל יש מצווה שאין תלויים ברצון הכלל. רק דווקא שלא ברצון כמצווה שיקרה, שכל מציוסה, היא דווקא באופן של הדר הרצון, ועל דרך זה עניין הנשיאוס. כצורך ליאס באופן שבריח מן הכובד, ורי כל הרודף אחר הכובד בריח ממנו, ומילא יכול להיסץ לעניין הנשיאוס. ומצווה זה לא שורש מבחינת של המעלה מרצון. Shnikne makif lemakif. The Medrash says there was a ma'ase b'chosid echad. The Rebbe brings on with the Torah. One day, he forgot the stalk of wheat, a bundle of wheat in the field. What's it in? When you leave a bundle shikha in the field?
We give it to the poor people.
No, you have to leave it for the poor people. Oh, he was so happy. Told the son, let's buy the fattest cow we can find. And his son found a fat cow. And he said, we'll bring it to the base of Mikdash. I was so happy. Finally, I forgot a bundle of chitim in the field, and I was able to do the mitzvah of shikh. That's what the Medrash says. The Rebbe asks, go to what's it called? Kojo. Chevre Time Shabbos. Go to on Coney Island. What's the name of that organization that they give suppers? Masbia. Go to the Met Council and give him a check. Give him a check. He was so happy. Oh wow!
What kind of carbon you bring?
The fattest cow we could bring.
No,
I don't know, oil, shlomim, whatever. So Alter Rebbe says, because you can't make it up. Shikha means you really forgot. You can't say, now I'm going to forget. You have to forget. He never forgot. He was, he was not a forgetful person. He was a yeka. He would bring his wheat in, his barley in. He never forgot.
You can't forget on purpose.
No.
Then I don't understand. The mitzvah is dependent upon
Forgetting.
a defect.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
That's the mitzvah. That's the mitzvah. So finally, when once he happened a good mazel, that he forgot a oimer basoda, he couldn't get over his simcha. He bought the fat, big cow, fattest cow. He brought it to the base of Mikdash as a korban.
Carbon filter?
No, I don't know. Maybe a korban oila, maybe a shlomim. So the Alter Rebbe says we see there's two types of mitzvahs.
Who
This
forgot the Talmud Bavli? He fast so many times to Talmud Bavli.
Yeah. Good, but that's something else. That's a higher darge. This is something else. It's lamayla marotzen. It's a mitzvah. There are certain mitzvahs that are not. Every mitzvah is tolan arotzen. You want to do it, you do it. You don't want to do it, you don't do it. That's how you're responsible for a mitzvah. It's up to you. You have bechira chovshus. And there are some mitzvahs. It's not totally in him. Has to be. So this is the union of makif and makif lim makif. It's lamayla regular rotzen. Close said is achiluk shebein Torah mitzvahs. Sheberach zeh nikra mitzvah v'shem lavushim. Kedu b'pirish Avram Zaken Yabba Yom Shekoy lavush mitzvah shbei v'shalei chas lavush chaz v'shalom. In general, mitzvahs are called lavushim, and Torah is called bayis. V'vur beruch mem shechmayim rabim shke moish habayit shem resodem. Matzilu min hakoyim min hakshamim. Just like the house protects over a person, gam shmiras lavushim. People buy his dafka. Where does he keep his lavushim? He keeps it in the house. Torah mitzvahs, mechol zeh moving in ma'akev arochek, shemiyois, arochek menem komak, menem ma'akev alov. Poel alov ela shapula, ene b'efen golu. Fische bin ja seichel schön ze ben ja im schkoima. Daite der Rebbe kam mit unser magischen in nicht mal Menu. There is the lower level, which is it takes some time until in koya daite the Rebbe. Hello. Oy verschiedene Reue für eine magisch nicht in schloß sigel yose make verach. Bottom line, this make verkore und make verach. Mam shba mam es skola selo shema kenes make verach, shena beget die klar. Boy ma de levush ma malu ma stin kma ma shalom ma khidus shbe ma in ni levenik shesh bahem moshel besaykh kmoy ish le shloim ma shem shal ma tsmen rein in ihre oira sekhl va khokh ba khese primas shbatoyre yesh bim soides veroz in loin har be yose ve kmoy dine atoyre. In the stories of the Torah, there's deeper secrets than in the deep dinim of the Torah. Avlein in Nikr Klal, who the fish etzem oiru soid sosum benabel the gila raka the helam vehester. I know the etzem oiru nivda so is gam is galu shaloi because it's an oiru nivda even when it's in this gala. Who bepchinas havdola vis almos beetzem vermacht der inyan. Kolon yonu who bavdola vis almos. והנה בזה הנה יש שכל שאפשר להסביר על האזולס שהשאר האזולס הוא סקוט ממנו בעבור המסורת. אז זוק כל אריכס הביר בריבי אויסס ודרך החילוק שבלושנה משנה לושנה גמורה שכל הגמורה מרומז במשנה אבל שבמשנה נאמר בדרך קצורה כי כיוון שההויסה דייתם רחוב ולחץ אז גמורה וצריך באריכס הדברים הרבה אמנם יש נשק שכל שמצד עצמו סוסים ביויסה שלכן גם הסקלוסה באופן של סדימה al derach stima de kol stimmen heine shene balle de gila der choves a beer viribi viyure. There's some things that you're never going to be able to explain it by explaining it. You can never explain it, but you could only give it over through a moshel. That's the only way you could do it. Hima idei mesholem v'chidas shenem biur in yin zagufa b'yasar chove v'adaga taftene yoyse kim shabir bo al yedei in yichitzone l'gamri moshel l'mo adov adoyim. Herakl Yoda Yochel aber der Avonas Inyan. Voidish kshetig du miles a sechel as le masbig. Moshel ela yish tzorich beribe meshalom shizom shvach shot shloim amelach shenever by veda beshloim shloish veda beshloish es alaf moshel. Hay shmetzad oim meksich lehutzach shloish es alaf moshel. Shadaf kal Yodam Yochel azul es lekabel es Inyan. Schenke shel sechel in amo kol kach. Kedise begemore gimel meis Mishol Shuolim Hoyer Loyal be a mayor. The only ein lano the shloisher. The mayor had 300 faxes, Misholim from faxes.
What does it mean we only have three?
The Rebbe Yochanan said, I only know 3 of them.
Oh,
Why did the fax cross the road?
Isn't one of them
Okay.
the fox in the ruins of Yerushalayim?
Huh?
It was one with like the fox running in the ruins of Yerushalayim.
No shaykhs.
Story.
Yeah. זהו גם עניין סיפורים מעשה שבתוירה שבחר יצאניוס הם סיפורים כמו משהו ולהוי שהתוירה נקרא משל אקדמייני מקומו כמיני דווקא על יודם נמשוך מעניין האלה שאינם יכולים להזכרת בעוונה בסוגה שבדין ולוך זה תוירה. There are, again, there's things that are makif hakorev, makif haroche. And in general, over here he's saying, yeah, makif hakorev is, I can explain it. Eventually it'll be understood. Makif haroche, I can never explain it. So I give a moshel. A moshel is from a different world. There's an expression of this in the moshel. That's where the Torah has a lot of stories in it. And the amkas and the stories in the Torah are more even than the Dinei Torah. ויובן על פי מים רבל שם טוב, שהוא ובכסר שם טוב, בנגיע לסיפורים שבתוירה. מושל המלך ששולח בני יחידי למרחקים. כדי שיהיה אחר כך יועסה תיינוג. There was a melech, he sent his son very far away. Because he wanted to have a lot of tainug. This is all the Mashal Hashem to go to the story. like
Who
the
owns that
shofar,
time? The Melech or the
the
king?
melech, the melech. The son is going to go to faraway country where the people are a whole bunch of dumbbells, and he's going to teach them how to be civilized people. He's going to go to. He sent the ships, to with his son to teach those wild Indians not to practice cannibalism and not to have human sacrifices. Like me and you grow up as if those Indians are given tzaddikim, the best of feinster Menschen, and Nebuch, the white folk, came and destroyed their whole beautiful existence. But a lot of these tribes are very nasty.
They used to skin out, take off.
Well,
And they have
So-
such
some of
practices.
the tribes claim that they're from the Shabbatim.
Yeah. They don't even know what the Shvatim are. I was in with my kids. We were in the Smoky Mountains. We went to in the reservation. I forgot which in the Cherokee Indians. It was
Cherokee, I think.
Cherokee. Yeah, they have a village there, a whole bunch of bums, and they. We had a woman that took us around the village, and the kids said, "So what do you eat?" They said, "Well, we hunt." "What do you hunt?" "We have beers." The kid said, "Why do you eat beer?" She said, "Yeah. My uncle, Big Fat Bull, his freezer's full of beer meat. You want to come over to the house? We'll give you some of the meat. It's delicious." Kid said, "No, it's not kosher. We're Jewish." "Oh, we come from the 10 tribes." The 10 tribes. The 10 tribes. But
Well, they come from different tribes.
Well,
different
some of the words, Indian words, seem to have a derivation with Hebrew. Some of the words.
Anyway, so the story was the king sent his son to teach these crazy shvatim, these crazy tribes who had practice all kinds of crazy stuff to be civilized with people. Instead of the son of the king influencing them, they influenced him. That's how a lot of the mashalim of the Baal Shem Tov start, right? Because really, that's the story of the neshama. The neshama comes from Gan Eden. The Eibush sent the neshama down to this world with a mission. This world is a whole bunch of nasty players, a whole bunch of bad players, and they have all kinds of very, very bad practices. And the neshama is supposed to teach them to be kind, good, civilized. So, but instead of the neshama influencing them, they influence Nabach the neshama. And why does the melech want to do it? Because the melech is going to have unbelievable pleasure seeing the accomplishments of his son.
What were you?
Yitzchak Gimel.
Yeah, you said the story like this. This mushal about the Ben Melech that was started to be like a chicken.
I never said that.
Who said that?
I don't know. Someone said it. There's a famous marshal. Yeah,
It's,
under the
it sounds
table.
the same.
I know. A lot of the stories of Ben Melech said. Okay, like I said, B'ribas Hayom. Nishkich Ben Melech Kol Tenugei Melech. Sholach Acharav V'Lo Yirot Tzalach Tzalach. Kid didn't want to go back to his father's house. Not interested anymore. Chol Sholach HaMelech Sarim Chashuv Acharav V'Lo Yoyil Klum. Not interested. He was sitting with his shoes and socks off, a street corner playing guitar and smoking high like a kite. Sham Sar Echod Choch Sheksuz Veloshin Shina Kidmus Admenahu. He put on ripped jeans. He took off his shoes and socks. He grew long hair.
I hang out.
Started hanging out with him. He took a few less showers. Suz Veloshin Shina Dmuz Abenahu Tzchech Yemach Hippie. v'niskarev elov b'madregosoi v'shivoi el oviv v'zeu yislapshus hatoyre b'sipurim gashmiyah. That's the story of the Baal Shem Tov. He said that there was a Sar Echad that realized that it doesn't help how many times you're going to send fancy Sorim. Kid doesn't want to come. He's on drugs.
You gotta go down to his level.
So one of the Sorim who loved the Melech, Tzachongeton, Sarisana jeans, and he started to talk that language and that lingo, and he got close to the Ben HaMelech, and he brought him back to his father. Okay. And that's the stories of the Torah. Stories of the Torah come down all the way to the level of a Yid to pick up a Yid. Vinya zenase des shalach shalach is lamar hakem in khazer la vadeshine sus veloshn shazon is pura tayr han shdaf ke des lab shatayr bim gashmer mis gal yoyse taynik dan dag taynik shalom ma kol madrege shme taynik shen yoyse taynik gemeno bokhlol zun taynik posh beza yuven gam tayr sarav maged al posak der shloishes yom im nelach ba midbar. Why did they have to go derech shloishes yom im nelach ba midbar? Why dafke derech shloishes yom? Inek shinit na tayr besin nit na bedib bevada mochach lis gam shavachshav. Ya dibor nim shech min machshav nimtsa sha tayr nit na bedibor bemachshav. Aval a maise hu be yedenu shanach no isem mitzvah be maise. Oz anu me yacht maise ha mitzvah. Shehu oil masiya im adibor bemachshav shel mitzir vabri. Vezo derech shloishes yom im nelach ba midbor. Deine shloishe oil mas nelach be kabbalah satoyr. Maggid had like the very interesting type of Torahs. It's like so the Maggid's Torah. I love my favorite Torah, the Maggid. Why was Lavan running after Yaakov? What was he running after? He wanted to bring him one more parsha in the Torah.
What?
He wanted to bring him another parsha in the Torah. Because when he ran after him, this became another parsha in the Torah. So he ran to give him another parsha in the Torah that he left behind. You hear Chemtzi? The Maggid has a very interesting.
So what's the chachma in that? I don't get it. And love it with the opposite.
That's just the way the Maggid works. And here he says, the Yidden went there shloishes yom midbar is machshava dibur ma'isa. His Torah is already given machshava dibur, but ma'isa he didn't have to do it. So that's derech shloishes yom nelach b'midbar. Magdim levad inyan islapsha Torah b'elam shekol ma'ashem esrach yesh mesharshish mator yisur etzimtzum. Acheboy le'el mazeh shaboy hakol b'tzimtzum gomor shekamat she'en lachem mitzvah she'en ba meidis v'shiurim mish zeich v'roel mitzvah b'shas asosei mitzvah yesh lo yoyset tainu v'shekol ma'ashu yoyser al yonu yoyser rachov v'einu b'tzimtzum kemoikan. So he sees it better with a bigger perspective. זה מה שאומרים על הזבלי, הסכום לפיר שכתוב, ויפרש עשר לפני והיא, ויפרש עשר לפני והיא כסוב לפני ואחר, שלא יסבל לסוגיינים, שם התיין גורל בליצם, סמך, עבוד פרש זכריה פירשה, תקציב מגילס אוף הרוחה, ורחוב ולפי שבאלם הדיבור, כנראה שהדיבור מצומצם, כן רויסה בשיעורים, וכיוון שהתורה מצוס, הם מצומצמים באלם הזה, על כן צריך כל אחד לך מססיס המצווה, Mais the Mashavet Gibazeh, Milas of Mitzvahs and Mafshitoisim, Migash Musav, Makarvos, Mashosh, Miyaksam, Melosonim, Ikru, a Tainik based Asiosa, Katainu Gumachabe, Shnei Dvorim. Anytime a person has Tainu, Gamim Lechoida, Enlam Shach Zelozeh, I feel my Fokim Zemezeh, Bazel Makasher, Kol Oilmas La Kodesh Baruch. Ad Kan Toichen, Toides Amagid, page Chav David. So this is the Torah from the Maggid and the Baal Shem Tov. The Torah is eine move Matzerich binyan asiyah, lo binyan adibi yeshne yoyse tainik. Binyan machshove kipisha Torah yoyse koydem man Torah yeshne yoyse tainik. Kuma vorbe Torah sar ava Maggid shekol yiride nas minyan shol tzimtzum. Umele gern a tainik mit tzimtzum. Kein lo matzerich liyos inyan the shloishes yomim nela v'amidbe. Alich le b'kabolas a Torah b'shloish ha'elam as gam ba'elam asiyah shesham esma et a tainik. You're telling me that when you go in higher elements, the tainug in every mitzvah is bigger. So why are you going down? In Yuvan Api, Teres Hashem Tamanal, Shadaf Kedi Slap Shat Teres B'Sipur Gashmim, Mizgala Yosef Tainug, moving a mashkosa b'teres harav magid. Shatana g'machaber shnei dvorim. Ze moving k'dei l'chaber yonim shemafach from yoser. Yishto tzorech b'tana got l'yoser. V'nim ez shatana k'bishum adek sal yonim k'vedi b'mashava b'dei v'shir. K'ferech inyan shemam shechasataynu b'mashava. Fin yono b'dibra l'fin yono. Ava k'dei she yoser taynu taynu shebein alech l'chamad regis shebe inyan ataynu g'hain etzem ataynu taynu g'aposhut. Hareze b'asiya dafke. Dafke to bring Torah down to from Machshava to Dibur to Maisa, you need Yosef time. Bottom line, in Lagabe Makef Hakorav and Makef Harochik, that
What does that mean? You need more kind of. People get the
more koyach.
more of a kind of.
Yeah, when a person has a bigger tainik, he has a more koyach to do something.
Oh, I see. So eventually the bigger kind of.
Or yeah. When a Yid brings it down, Nasiya, Abish has a bigger tainik. It's a tainik Yosef. Like the story of the Magid, the Bashem Tov. There's a bigger tainik when the sun goes down to the savages.
Yeah.
And you know that. Okay. Bottom line is makav hakorav, makav harochik. In the last memory of this set of Maimonim, as I said, there's 5 Maimonim. It's Shabbos Mincha. I spoke about this. The Rebbe said that the Baal Shem Tov was mamshech to the world, the makav harochik. The Magid, the Mezritch, was mamshech to the world, the makav hakorav. The Alter Rebbe was mamshech at boy from Pnimi. What does it mean, mamshech the makav harochik? So the Rebbe says that the Alter Rebbe's Torahs, all spectacular Torahs. A lot of them are stories. Spectacular, you see big tzaddikim which had a big style, saying stories. Even the Daily Yisrael that were not the Derech HaChassidus had funny styles, stories with horses and donkeys and camels. The Rebbe said, "Bachlal, the Mahalach of the Baal Shem Tov was Baal Shemskim, like there's a story." Yeah. A lot of much. I was looking because this morning I was talking about growing a little taller. So I found Takaboy employee. I was looking. Today I spent a lot of time looking. First of Bear Maim Chaim. You're right. The other one is the Zayde of Reb Shmelke. Shmelke and Reb Shmuel Shmelke. Shmuel Shmelke and his brother the Pinchas came to the Maggid. They became Talmidei Maggid. His grandfather wasn't a chassid. Right. No, it was before the Baal Shem Tov. But still, it was a tzaddik. It was so. There's a sefer written. Because today there's no time. I'm going to get to it. I have a stack like this. Bliguzma. I found from 6 different Svarim Hakadoshim from Chassidish Svarim on this issue. Wild stuff, but I found who the other tzaddik is. There was a son. Reb Shmelke had a son who married Reb Pinchas' daughter, and he wrote a sefer. And he wrote in the Agdoma that their grandfather had geheißen the Heucher Reb Yeshaya, because every Shabbos he grew a head taller. So I was looking, and I was looking, and I don't know why I decided to open up the sefer called Rishimas Sipurim from Rabbi Yehuda Chitrik. And I opened up the first page. I saw a story from the Baal Shem Tov that his tailor said it was made as big the Shabbos he had to make bigger because the Baal Shem Tov was bigger in Shabbos. I'm gonna get back to it. It's mamish wild stuff. But Linyan told a story over there that he heard from Rebbe the Masmed, which was a famous Lubavitcher Chosed, that there was once the Ruzhiner had a Chosed. Did I tell the story once?
It's a different story about
That he had a Chosed, the Ruzhiner, that had a factory, and go in there. And there was a goy that had a brother from another mother. They always fighting. And the older brother, he decided he wants to finish his life. He went to the factory and he took a rope. And that was it. He killed himself. The Eid comes, he comes to the factory, and hanging from the roof is hanging the pagan mace, a goy. What should he do? Impulsively, he just cut the rope. And what happened was he was making candles. He was a candlestick maker. He had a big pot, and he would put in all the stuff in there, and they would cook it, and would make candles. And he cut the rope, and the body went into the pot, and zu Hause gekocht, also mit der Scheibe, and the bones they threw out, and they made candles. Show the Viola, the brother, is looking for his younger brother, and they went around, and no one knew about it. Only the Yid and his manager, who was also a Yid. And they found from the neighbors that they saw that after they had the fight, that the Shagets went to the factory. Oh, they called the police. They gave a blood libel. It was before Pesach. The Jews needed blood for the matzah.
My candle's a bit red.
Yeah. So yeah, they didn't need the coloring.
I don't know.
Color
matzah.
red.
I saw red matzah before. Blood for the matzah.
I don't know. Didn't see red candles either. So it was a tzora, a big tzora. So he went to the Rebbe, the Ruzhina. And the Ruzhina said, don't worry about it. He said, but it's going to be a court case. It's going to be big tzoras for the Yid. He said, don't worry, Dave should tell for me. Should I get a lawyer? No, you shouldn't get a lawyer.
That's the worst thing.
Everything will be good. No need for a lawyer. So when they when they left, the manager said, "Tell Chosa Derushin, are you crazy? Me and you know what happened. We saw what happened. But what do you mean it's going to be good? How's it going to be good?" He said, "This is what my Rebbe said. It's going to be good." And then they went home. And the Violets, it's almost a court case. They're traveling back home. And as they're coming close to their town, they're on a krechma, and they see a guy. He looks exactly like that guy, that guy in the candles. So they walk over, say, Ivan, how you doing? Yeah, how you doing? They said, the whole town is going crazy. Everyone thinks that you died. They're blaming the Jews. Are you going to come with us to the court to show that you're alive? Yeah, sure, I'll come with you. Okay. He came with them, and they came in time for the court, and it was packed. Everyone all of a sudden, wow, they were surprised. And the two Yidden, the owner of the factory and his manager, walk in, and the guy is walking with them. It's given a große Litzanis in the court, and versteht sich, the Jews were acquitted. After the court case was over, the older brother said, I'm so happy. Let's go out for a drink. So they went out to a bar, and they had a few drinks, and the older brother got very angry. You know how much I spent money for lawyers for you? Because we thought he killed him, and he buried him at the side of the road.
You killed who?
The older brother killed the younger brother.
Jews?
No, Goyim.
Oh,
Goyim.
How did they pull off a trick like that?
So that's what Chassidim asked the Rujina. How did you pull off a trick like that?
They saw the body fall.
So that's what they asked. He said, that's a chiddush. I'll tell you what a chiddush is. The Baal Shem Tov was a Yid that came to the Baal Shem Tov. What happened was he had a poritz, and the poritz was good to him. And poritz was mavata year after year. He didn't pay the rent because the parnosa was schwach. And the altar poritz didn't bother him. And the poritz died. and he had a nephew in Paris. So they told the nephew that his uncle died. Well, he came to wherever it is, Ukraine, White Russia, whatever, Poland, whatever that sovereignty was at that time. He came to take stock of the land and the possession. And he came to the shtetl and he looks in the books and he sees that there's a yid that has a kretschmer. And
That's a lot of
it's
money.
10 years, never paid a nickel. So he called the yid. He said, "You owe money for 10 years?" He said, I can't pay. He said, "You can't pay? What do you mean you can't pay?" I'm gestrashet. So he went to the Baal Shem Tov to ask the Baal Shem Tov what to do. The Baal Shem Tov said, "Go back to that young poritz and tell him you would pay him. If you want him to, he owns the land, he should show you a legal document that his uncle left him the Yerusha." That's what he did. He was scared. He was scared. Part is that they could take a gun and Rachmana litzlan. What could happen? But Baal Shem Tov told him he went back to the young poritz and he said, "I'll pay you, but show me that this land belongs to you, that your uncle left you Yerusha." He said, "How do you know? I don't have that document." He said, "I'll tell you right away. There's a big tzaddik. All the Jews know him in this country. His name is the Baal Shem Tov. He knows everything. He could see everything. And he told me that you don't have a document showing that your uncle left you his estate. So what should I do?" He said, "Come with me to the Baal Shem Tov." When he came to the Baal Shem Tov, the Baal Shem Tov said, "You know what? Let's cut a deal. If I will help you see it, you'll give him the kretschmer free of charge." So he said, "For sure." So the Baal Shem Tov made him promise. He promised. Baal Shem Tov said, "Go to Petersburg. Everything will be good." He went to Petersburg. He was there for a couple of days. Doesn't know what to do. One day, all of a sudden, there was an unbelievable rain, and it was like the middle of the day. He was caught on he didn't expect the rain. He was caught unexpected. He ran under like an awning. Another few people in the street also ran under the awning. And he looks under the awning, and the guy standing next to him is his uncle who died. And he looks at his uncle. He said, "You never left me a document showing that this is going to be my Yerusha." He said, "You're right. So why don't we go now to a lawyer, and I'll write up the documents." And so we're in Petersburg. All the lawyers are here. We'll go to a lawyer, and we'll make documents. They went around a couple of blocks. The rain stopped, and they found the lawyer. They went into his office. They paid him. And then the young part says to the old part, "Let's go out to a bar to drink." He said, "No, no, no, I'm in a big rush." He disappears. And the young parts came back and he gave the kretschmer to the Yid as a gift. So the Roshana said that was a story that was just for a kretschmer, and the guy was 10 years dead. This was Mosh Poshet to save a whole yishuv of Yidden, and the guy was not even 1 year dead. So fragst Shaila, what's the Sagrois Achidush? That's the story of the Baal Shem Tov. By the way, the Roshana is really pretty close. The Roshana's father is a grandson of the Magid Masich, the town of the Baal Shem Tov. And the Magid, that's called Makev Arochik. It's like crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. The Magid of Mezrich is one of my favorite stories. Is a Magid. I had a friend that told us Yaakov Yosef. That told us Yaakov Yosef had Tainus. He didn't become the successor of the Baal Shem Tov, and the Magid did. So he decided to go to Shmos with the Magid. Came to Mezrich, and the Magid was Makabel and Bechovet God. And they spent together a Shabbos. After Shabbos, the Toldos Yaakov Yosef came to his friend and he said, "No, I want to talk to you about something. I came to discuss with you. How you talking? Who you are from the younger Talmidim? I'm from the first Talmidim. Toldos Yaakov Yosef was from the first Misnagdim. They became a Talmud of Baal Shem Tov. And Haytochen Dafke you became the Mamal Amok. So the Maggid said, after Baal Shem Tov used to come back from the mikveh, he used to be Messiah in his room. No one's allowed to be in his room. You know what the Baal Shem Tov did? He said, no, because he locked himself in his room and no one ever could see what he did. So the Maggid said, but I was very curious. So I hid under his bed. And the Baal Shem Tov came back from the mikveh. He went into his room and he locked the door. All of a sudden he said, Berel, kiricharos. He felt it that his son, that his Talmud, was hiding under the bed. So he said, Berel, kiricharos. So he said, I was so embarrassed. I climbed out from under the bed and I wanted to leave. The Baal Shem Tov said, it's too late. I already locked the door. But if you want to come with me, the Eitzah is to hold on to the tower. Hold on to the tower. And I can't tell you any further. So the told us Yaakov Yosef verstanden, and that was it. And he left B'Sholem, and that was it. So the two stories are both spectacular stories. And Nakuda, the Rebbe says, is that the Baal Shem Tov, even though he gave a lot of Torahs, but they were closed. They're a closed book. And he gave the Yidden a lot of Kais and Avodas Hashem. But for it was a Makif HaRochik. And the Magid was Makif HaKorev. He had Hamidim, which were Goinim Atzumim, that Yefeshtein and Yegahat HaSoge in the Torah of their Rebbe. And that's why the Magid is considered Makif HaKorev. And that's the difference. The difference of Makif HaKorev and Makif HaRochik is similar to the difference of Oirein Soif, that in Oirein Sof itself, there is the union of Maila and Mata. It's not just Oirein Sof, Gefinzach Lamaila and Gefinzach Lamata. In Oirein Sof, there's two Nakudas. There's the Nakuda of Maila, and there's Nakuda of Mata. Minyan Linyan. There's a younger man in 770. No, it's not here. It's in my house. No, there's a Bir B'derech Efsher. It's a booklet like this from Harav Michol Golem. It's a Mashpia in 770. A wonderful, wonderful younger man. That's Balakalim. And every year he writes Pirush on the Basi Legani. There's a few people that do, but he's the only one. He works really hard. He must work hundreds of hours. Hundreds of hours, and he writes a booklet, a Pirush B'derech every year.
Because every year it's a different.
Yeah. It could be in a few years. He'll get to
the cycle.
Yeah. Well,
Publish a book.
I don't know if he'll publish the book. But he publishes it and he gives it out in 770. And you can get it. There's in 770. You come in. There's like you pay $4 for it. It's a pushka. Okay. I was talking to my father on the way back last night. I was bringing back from Sheva Brachas about the Yachoilas, because the Rebbe says, anyway, never mind the Lomdus. He was just telling me a cute thing that Michal was telling him. He was going in on Meftzayim in Tel Aviv, and there were three guys sitting together, sitting in a bar. He saw three Eden sitting. Three Ben Gurions, I say, very nice. And he asked them if they would like to put on film. They said, no, they never put on film in their life. They're not interested in putting on film. But they have a question for him. If he can answer the question, they'll put on film. They said, could the Rebbeinu Shalom make a rock that's so heavy that he can't pick it up himself? So Michal says, he said, but I told him, I don't understand your question. I don't know the answer. He says, I'll be honest, I don't know the answer. I simply don't understand the question. If you're talking about an Eibishter, the Hainu, a Koil Yochel, So a heavy rock and a pebble is the same thing. So why are you asking if he can make a heavy rock that he can't pick up? Why don't you ask if he could make a pebble that he can't pick up? The guy started laughing. They rolled up the sleeves and they put on Phil. Okay. Bottom line, the Chiddush in the Maimer, that in the Oyer in Soif, there's two Nekudas, not in the Mor Chas v'Shalom, but in the Oyer, there's two Nekudas. It's not just a question of Yechoilus, Lahoyer, Yechoilus, Shaloi, Loyer. It's two Nekudas. One Nekuda is Lamaila, Maila, and the other Nekuda is Lamata, Mata. It's like similar to the idea of Makif HaKorev and Makif HaRochak. And that's the Oitzer. That's the Oitzer. Then your Oyer in Soif is the Oitzer. And that's what the Eibishter gives to every Yid. Every Yid gets this Oitzer. Let's read very quickly to get to the end of the Maimer. You know, that I'm over the Maimer, Ben Yoshne Makif from the Makif Rakor, Barochik, Borgam, the Massal Kosno Quetzal, Marshab, page Chafe in the top. Makif Yesh Beit Madreges, Makif, the Yosh, Makif, the Fez, Makif, the Yosh, Uchabo, Bebchinas Gila, El Shu, the Mal, Prince, Snapshot, Prince Pnimis, Ken, Nishab, Prince Makif, Mamal, Yesh, Shachas, Lara, Pnimia, the Gila, a Moshel, Kamarav, Mashbi, Seichel, Sorot, Medish, Mashochel, Skabo, Seichel, Taman, Ikra, Pnimish, Messiah, Limoich Seichel, Makabla, by Mexeichel, Zay, Shief, Shed, Liskabel, Limoich, Nishab, Prince Makif, Al Moich, Makomak, Medikiv, the Hof of Achiochla, Basoga, Mamish, Bam, Shazman, Kumoy the Krem in the Shaddai, the Drebagam, Al Oimekros, Seichel, Zay, Ava Prince Makif, the Hoser, Shane, but the Giliklau. Gamle with Prince Makif, Adara, calling you know, Hep Hashef, Shulim, Shom Giliklau, Kim Lahalam Lasta, the Vatsman, Snell, Lagamri, Mesechel, Makbiyos, Muster, Venelam Lagamri, Nika Sechel, Hanelam Kolarai, Moise, Maimer, Lulabai, Mekios. This is really the marshal that Friedrich is giving. It's just the mock it is from the Rebbe Shab. Virginia is a Nika Yoska Sham Mashpia. Maskel Maslakim Batsmade, the Shkola Skola Maslakim is getting Sefer Soyer Vigila, Pitcher Mashpia Maskel. Slackman in the face of Floyer Vigila in the Kodza, Bosh Seichel, Bosh Seichel Shahu, but Bosh Shachel Vigilui. Shedugmas ben Imshol, or in Saflamata, den Tach was of Zech Lomakusa, Shusas Mets, and Shakosmos, or this Almos, Shedugmas ben Imshol, in Saflamila, den Kates, and a gap from the Scala. I love Hine is very for sure nivdal salam atzmus. Mamshel be masel kechosen she hasechel yoser amok yochel vel de gile be mishal me khid zdaf she behem muster or shene masel klab te khamashel. All shatsam lo be mashal be ze yisem Allah se me bkhinas agilo shu rak or levad. V'kan er yotefes kalatzmus so because the mashal has the whole nimshal in it. You want to water down a seichel and you explain it. If you only take a little bit, it's watered down. Sheikh Marshall, it has the whole nimshal in it. Most of Shem Shuv and Zeh, Yosef and Yanatanik Shish, Tanik and Morkin, Tanik and Pashut, Tanik and Pashut, Guf Yeshet, Minshain, like it's Shem Dovar, Anal the Fi, Higia, Oine Bets, Nafshin, Beged Gilum, Shochikwal, Badra, Boine, Prince Ali, Vistalkos, Lamaila Dafka, Pen in the Shum Tanu Kwal. The Yosef Prince and Khoza Batsmusa Dafka, Behedra Gilum, Shachal Gamri. Hena b'seich loma v'yosir aneh l'machorayin shena b'gedi gilam etzadatz me'elam b'chenes alili stalkus l'mayla l'halam l'hastek b'atz m'lidavke hena l'achas sh'mesayim siv zeh amshach levar dugm b'zeh b'erin sof sh'yeshna b'chenes gilui yeshna etzem oish hena b'gedi gilui amshach klal b'elam b'saladera b'sh'mesalam b'meskal b'atz musay hena madregezum nikre b'shem oitzer b'shem shoitzer yososam v'nelam b'gin koroya kem kenes atzmos Sosum vanilla, Erak Sosum Berech Makabal Sosum Sadatz, Mistim the Kol Stimmen. Omnam Oitzazel, Sosum calls man Shane, Loiboim, Linian Hanetzok, and of Kisha Tzirchim, Sanat, Sekas Amachoma, as I post from an Oitzim as Oitzis, Akmusim, Meder Leder, Ella, Meder Der, Ella Shefin the Sinner, or the Hamalil, Binyan Saporim Shabbatera, Vedug Messin Amoshal, Shay Dezem, Kabal, and Skola Sech, Bishets Lara. Beifishnat, Yana Shalom Kabel, Shalachin Yochel Shtam, Shazam Tzarek by Deze Lenatzer Mochama. Yeah, it's like Dafka the Makef Aroch. Elamai, it doesn't come in a way of Gilui, it comes like a closed book when it comes. Yesh Lo Itzer, Bebir, Mahalas Itzer, to Mavur, Behem Shachilul, Besif Shal Knaza, Him Yakar, Nefsa, Nikbaz, Vakras, Kamasham, Medera Kabur. Eine Maschatz Matzah, Behem Maschatz Avaisa, Pibir at Samach Tzedek, Veira Teure, Vaekev Tishmish Koil, and Yenaschar, Vaekev, and it is a Lechem Lamachal, Kabbat Schal, Shenin, Yen, Shalos Lavi, Shalom Kadosh Baruch Hu, Rakaschar, Sheiroi Achshu, Shas Asiyas, Mitzvah, Laderech HaMesuv Medish, Vaisa Bere Pinchas Ben Yoshi, Yivkidu Etz Lanoshim, Noshim Etz Lesoirim, Shakchu Lahaisam, V'holchu Lahem, V'hoire Pinchas Ben Yoshi, Zereisam, V'chol Shana Vaisa, Eisam Goyim Etoinsim, V'shev Shem Holchu, Eisam Chaverim L'sham, L'tvoya, Eisam Litan Lahen, Miyad Iker Eisam, Pinchas Ben Yor, Amar Boyu, Tlu, Oitzer Seichem, Derech Ze Benimshel. It's a beautiful word, and it's not even like that's talking pshat in the medish. I mean, I'm saying talking that's push pshat in the medish. That the medish says from we learn a menasa shlakavidish baruch hu is a lachas kama v'kama menasa shlabasa v'dom, and there's a story from the Pinchas Ben Yor. It's in Devarim Rabbah.
I remember the story
Peter Gimel.
where Tzaddikim was there.
Yeah. So there's a few stories over there. All of them beautiful.
With the goats.
All those stories. It's all a hemshach there. One, this story is a beautiful story. That he had a whole bunch of people that gave him a pikon bags of soidim, and when they didn't come, he said, "What's going to happen? The soidim are going to rot." So he went and he planted the soidim. Then he harvested the soidim
For 7 years.
After 7 years, the people remembered. They came to the Pinchas, and he gave them a oitzer full of soidim, and they couldn't believe how much soidim. He said, "That's all from your bags of soidim." So what Tzaddik says that the same thing is when he is in Golos. That it's not the pshat when the Eibush gives us schar and Mashiach is going to come. Bisman hazeh we can't be toifus the schar, lost love it we could, whatever. We'll be deserving. The schar is growing, shel unbelievable. It's like like when you're like in the investment charts, It's a gate good, and all of a sudden it's a plot. Compounded interest. That dafke that is unbelievable. Harakavoni sheyagia la'an shachar kedeshifel asimtzach Muhammad dafka al yodem mal rotzen melech, which is Malka Shaloilam. What's his rotzen? Shinatzchos Muhammad. The Muhammad against the Yitzhahara. Muhammad the Yitzhahara. Sheyiflu kiyam ayud v'niklu kved Hashem v'rokol basayach v'pi Hashem diber. Okay. So the bottom line is the Oitzer. The Eibishter wants we should win the Muhammad, and it's kedai to give us every Oitzer. We should win the Muhammad. He does. He gives them. Okay. Time l'chaim.
Should it have an end like this?
Yeah.
You had the whole thing. What else do you
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get a million.
We have 7. Every guy. One guy upstairs.
Ellie,
We do have 7.
Ellie.
I don't mind. I davened already because we had the Sheva Brachas. So we davened before the Sheva Brachas.
Where are you gonna find somebody in the street?
So I'll come off.
story, also very similar story.
Usually
Oh.
7.
But how many more does he have?
Two.
Story about the Russian. That's one of his good.
Me gedenkt toch gelijk, dat is de story van de roof.
It's funny you went into either.
Wednesday night we're gonna have
story.
I'll bring him.
we're gonna have Wednesday night for break.
Yeah, big verbrengen.
Here.
Yeah, here. It's not gonna be Sheva
Oh,
Brachas
we're
because
gonna-
it's already over the Sheva Brachas.
We're gonna learn.
Finished already?
I don't think we'll learn that. I think we'll verbrengen.
Okay.
Because
Story.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I can deal with that.
yeah. Huh?
I can handle that.
Yeah.
Wait, so what did Gary say? Did he say he's bringing?
No. I think he's gonna go to Rabbi Khan.
Or kind of 10:13? Now 10:13. Yeah, Rabbi.
We always the chas in Grand Heights.
Roughly.